All right, ready to dive into something different today? We're going deep on stacking silver and gold.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been using this YouTube video. The channel is called Silver Heist,
Mm-hmm.
and the title is really what grabbed me. 7 signs. You're a better silver and gold stacker than you think.
I like that.
I know, right? Like, come on, who doesn't want to be better at something?
It's true. And it seems niche, I know, but that idea of financial security, that's something we can all get behind.
Totally. And they get right to it. This video starts with this stat. Most Americans can't handle a $1,000 surprise expense.
Oof, that's relatable.
Yeah, no kidding. Usually you hear, put it in savings,
Yeah.
right? But this video, they're saying precious metals.
Interesting.
And that's where these signs come in. They're clues you might already be good at stacking, even if you don't realize it.
I'm intrigued.
Okay, sign number 1. Completing a tube of those sovereign silver coins.
Ah. Okay.
I'll admit, even I had to look this one up. What exactly does that mean? A tube of coins.
So a tube is basically a holder, right? For a set number of coins, usually 20.
Okay. And they're the official silver coins of your country. So like American silver eagles in the U.S., Canadian maple leafs up north.
Gotcha.
So a tube of those, depending on what silver's doing that day, that could be $600-700.
So you're already on your way to that emergency fund.
Right. And the video's point is it's the discipline, the planning that goes into completing that tube.
It's not just about the money, then.
Exactly. It's a tangible goal, like here's this thing I achieved. Different feeling from seeing numbers on a screen.
I can definitely see the appeal in that. Okay, sign number 2. This is about getting those lower premiums.
Right.
So first off, for anyone who's not into this, can you explain what a premium even is when it comes to buying metals?
Sure. Basically, it's the extra you pay on top of the actual value of that metal.
Like a markup.
Yeah, exactly. Covers the seller's profit, making the
Mhm.
coins or bars, even just handling them.
So are lower premiums always the best move? Is there ever a reason to pay more? Most of the time, yeah, lower's better. You get more for your actual dollar, right? But like, if it's a rare coin, a collectible, then that premium's partly for the history, not just the metal.
Makes sense.
So it's about being a smart buyer, knowing what you're getting, what you're paying for. The video uses generic rounds and bars as an example, usually lower premiums.
Right. And they had that funny story about the guy who accidentally bought way more bars than he meant to.
Oh, yeah, because the deal was so good.
It's kind of nice, humanizes it, You don't got to be some Wall Street whiz to get into this.
Makes it less intimidating for sure. It's like, oh, I could actually do this?
Which brings us to sign number 3, competing, but with yourself.
Oh, I like this one.
The video uses collecting silver dimes as an example. Takes me back to those old Whitman coin folders.
It's so relatable, right? That feeling of building a collection, seeing it grow over time.
Totally. And the video's creator, he even shows his own competition. He's trying to beat his childhood collection.
Oh, that's
Yeah, fill a new folder with all unique dimes. So it's personal, adds this layer of nostalgia.
It's not about being the best, it's about your best.
Right. Though I do think comparing yourself to others can push you too. It's about balance.
Oh, absolutely. But this sign is about remembering your journey, your goals.
Not just trying to keep up with everyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not just keeping up with the Joneses, making your own benchmark for success, whatever that means to you.
Okay, that's a good point. Now, signs 4 and 5, these get into the serious stuff.
Yeah.
Diversification and handling the market ups and downs.
Art of investing.
So 4 is about having both silver and gold. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, right?
That classic strategy.
And then 5, it's about accepting those price swings. Like, enjoy it when things are up, but know the dips are going to happen.
That long-term thinking is crucial, especially with precious metals. They've kind of always been seen as a hedge against, inflation when things get shaky.
Makes sense. And the video, they even say you don't got to be rich to get started. They mention fractional gold, those tiny coins.
Oh, yeah, the 110th-ounce ones.
So you can gradually build your stack over time. Like, you could just get one a month if you wanted to.
Exactly. Makes it way more attainable. It's like, hey, I can actually afford this.
It's not just for, like, millionaires with vaults full of gold bars.
Exactly. And it's similar to that dollar cost averaging idea,
Yeah.
Investing a set amount regularly, regardless of the price.
So you're not trying to time the market perfectly. You're averaging out your cost over time.
Right. Smart strategy to manage risk no matter what you're investing in.
All right, last one for this chunk of the deep dive. Sign number 6.
Yeah.
This is about that feeling when you buy something and the price instantly jumps up.
Huh. Yeah, that little rush of I'm a genius.
Exactly. But the video, They connect this to sign 5 really cleverly.
They're saying both rising and defalling prices are part of the game, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
It's about having that balanced mindset. Don't get too high on the wins. Don't freak out on the dips.
Shows maturity as an investor. Doesn't matter what you're buying, really. That mindset is important.
And speaking of staying the course, sign number 7, a bit meta, but it's about finishing what you started.
I mean, that applies to watching the whole video, of course.
Right. But they take it further. It's about resilience, commitment in life, not just finances. Makes you think about sticking with things, huh? Even when it's tough, when you don't see results right away.
It does. And, talking about these signs, it's hit me that they apply to more than just stacking, silver and gold.
Oh, for sure. It's like life lessons, almost.
Exactly. Building those good habits, the right mindset. That's success in anything, really.
So true. Like, what are we stacking in other parts of our lives?
Yeah.
Skills, knowledge.
Experiences, right? I bet our listeners have some cool stories about that.
I'd love to hear them. We should ask them to share in the comments.
Oh, Ellie.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves, I did want to touch on something you mentioned earlier about the video. Using YouTube as our source.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you think about how we get info these days.
Big time. And it highlights how important critical thinking is, no matter where that info is coming from.
Got to evaluate, look at different sides, make up our own minds.
Exactly. Especially now, right? We're flooded with information from everywhere.
Easy to just get swept up in, like a slick presentation.
Totally. And this video is well done, engaging, but we got to remember, it's coming from a specific viewpoint.
They're going to highlight the good stuff about stacking, naturally.
Right. And that's fine. But as viewers, we got to be aware of that.
So it's not about rejecting the info, but being a little skeptical.
Yeah, healthy skepticism. Do your own digging, find other opinions, then make your own choice.
Based on what works for you.
Exactly. And even within the, pro-stacking world, there's tons of variety.
Yeah.
Some are all about bullion. Others are into those numismatic coins, the rare stuff. Some hold long-term. Some are trading all the time.
It's a whole world, huh?
It is. And just like the video said about diversifying your stack, you got to diversify your information, too.
I like that connection. It's diversifying your understanding, basically.
Makes you a smarter consumer of anything, really.
Couldn't agree more. And one thing I did appreciate, the video made all this pretty easy to understand.
Oh, yeah, they broke it down well.
Like the premiums thing. Clear, concise. Then they gave actual advice on finding lower ones, what affects the price, even those personal stories.
Humanizes it, like we said.
Make stacking seem doable,
Yeah.
even if you're a total beginner.
Lowers that barrier to entry. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, you don't got to be Warren Buffett to do this.
Gives people that feeling of control over their finances.
One silver dime at a time, right?
Exactly. And, it struck me, this stacking idea, it goes beyond just physical stuff.
How so?
Like, it's about building abundance in any area of life. Could be knowledge, skills, relationships even.
Oh, that's good. Shifting from scarcity to abundance. What we're creating, not what we're missing.
I like that. So what are people stacking out there? Some might be knowledge junkies, always learning new things.
Others might be all about building connections, that strong network of support.
And some might be laser focused on one skill, mastering it completely.
Whatever's important to them. Figuring that out, then consistently making choices that support it.
So it's not about what we don't have. It's what we're actively building.
Day by day, brick by brick.
It's a totally different way of looking at things.
And I bet it resonates with a lot of our listeners, people who are always looking to learn, grow, all that.
So as we wrap up this stacking deep dive, I'm really curious.
Yeah.
What are you stacking out there, dear listener? What are those precious things, the intangible stuff that you're working on? We'd love to hear about it down in the comments. Keep that conversation going. Kind of wild, huh?
Okay.
We started with stacking silver and gold, and now we're talking about, life philosophy.
It's true, though, isn't it? It's those unexpected connections that make these deep dives so fun.
Totally. And speaking of connections, I've been thinking about compound interest as we talk about stacking these different, assets.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there's a parallel there, right? Small, consistent actions over time lead to big results.
You're absolutely right. Compound interest, they don't call it the eighth wonder of the world for nothing.
Right. It's like that snowball starts small but keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Exactly. And whether you're putting away a little money for silver each month, or spending time learning a new skill, or even just nurturing those important relationships, it all adds up.
It's those consistent deposits
Yeah.
into our future selves, basically.
I love that. And it's a good reminder, you don't need huge changes to make progress. It's those little steps every day that get you there.
It's encouraging, actually. We have more control than we think over what our future looks like.
For sure. By making those choices, thinking long term, we can build a future that it's about the long game. And that applies to so much more than just money.
Absolutely. It's a life philosophy almost.
And you know what makes me think of? That saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
I love that.
It's never too late to start stacking whatever it is that's valuable to you.
So true. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, I got to say, I'm feeling pretty inspired
We too.
to take action, to be consistent, to believe in that long-term growth.
And I hope our listeners are feeling that too. Maybe the biggest takeaway here is that invitation to look at our own lives, you know? What are we stacking and what can we do, even just a little bit each day, to keep building that?
It's those small steps that make the difference.
Exactly, the journey of 1,000 miles and all that.
Well said. So, to everyone listening, as you go about your day, keep that question in mind. What are you stacking? And what can you do today to move a little closer to your goals? Keep stacking, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.